This is your weekly celestial forecast for the week beginning July 31st, 2023, and for the last day of July, the 31st, we have Mercury in the sign of Virgo, and Mercury is all about communications. Mercury is elevated in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is discriminating, analytical, and detail oriented, and this makes a opposition pretty much all week with Saturn, the taskmaster, the serious and conservative, duty responsibility oriented Saturn retrograde. So on Monday and for most of the week, we are going to experience some frustrations in our communications. What we have to say and what we are looking to investigate, if you will, doesn't seem very clear. So if you want to get your point across, especially this week, you want to be very clear about what you mean, say what you mean what you say, and that may help to avoid some of the conflict for this week with this Saturn and Mercury opposition. But Mercury is in Virgo, detail-oriented Virgo, and this is wonderful for research, as mentioned, analyzing just about anything, especially the small print. And Virgo, what is Virgo? Virgo's about hard work, very perfectionistic, and with Neptune Saturn retrograde, well, we may be a little bit sloppy about the details. So that's another point that we must be very observant of, is that our details are up to snuff and there are no stones unturned, so to speak, at this time with Mercury in Virgo and Saturn in Pisces. Also, this is going to be this week discussions about mental health, physical health, diet, exercise, reform, going back to the past, making corrections in this area. And what else is Virgo? It's about organizing anything. And so this week it's about organizing and keeping track of everything that is the small and the detailed. And with Mars in Virgo, Mars is with action. This only emphasizes that connection with Mercury in Virgo. We are feeling rather fussy, maybe a little bit irritated with Mars in Virgo, just past the opposition to Saturn. So we may kind of pick apart each other and criticize, perhaps be a little overly critical, but hey, Virgo gets the job done. So that's one wonderful positive trait. Again, we have this connection with Saturn retrograde. Make sure all the details are in line. And we've got now on Monday, the moon at 22 degrees Capricorn at noon Eastern time, that is, and it is applying a conjunction with powerful Pluto. And Pluto is connected with Scorpio. It is behind the scenes. So with the conjunction with the moon on Monday, there's some secrets that perhaps are being kept. Maybe we need to do a little digging on some of those details that Virgo connection is bringing about. And with Pluto in Capricorn, it's going to highlight anything connected with structures, the structure of the collective within society, structures, physical structure, and of course with Capricorn, good old-fashioned hard work on Monday. Yes, and yes, Saturn in Pisces retrograde, but we also have Neptune retrograde in Pisces, and Pisces is connected with the 12th house. It's also connected with water. And with Neptune retrograde right now, there may be some issues with water, liquids, oil, minerals, and what? Moisture, especially because Neptune is retrograde right now. So there could be equally an overabundance of moisture or the underabundance of moisture, water, and so have you. So it's either feast or famine with water and Neptune. Also, issues with marine life and so on and so forth. Also, could be some rather large storms right now, so be on the lookout for that as well, especially all this week with this connection with Neptune in Pisces. And with Jupiter in Taurus, that's very grounded, very solid, and Uranus also in Taurus. So uh, overall, Jupiter loves to expand, kind of exaggerate, if you will. And as it applies that conjunction with very grounded, earthy Uranus, there could be some rather large Earth changes in store as we come into the coming days and weeks as Jupiter applies the conjunction with Uranus, especially as we cross over to the full moon on Monday, August 1st, and there is going to be a square off. So let's just look ahead. And by the way, we do have the sun in Leo now, and that's also good for warmth and creativity. So let's look at the following day. Yes, indeed, we are going to look forward a day to Tuesday. And yes, Tuesday is officially the first day of August and the first full moon of this month. Yes, indeed, there are going to be 2 full moons in August. Therefore, a blue moon, and the full moon is actually at 2:31 p.m. Eastern time, and that will then be at 9 degrees of the moon in Aquarius and make it in opposition with naturally the sun in Leo. So this is very good for social concerns and really expressing our unusual style or unusual self-expression. Yes. And with the square off here with the T square, with the moon, the sun, and Jupiter in Taurus, we will have to be careful of what we say because remember, Jupiter is connected with expansion and Jupiter loves to exaggerate. And then you add to that, Jupiter is connected with what? The second house, which is connected with our speech. So we really want to broadcast some of those Aquarian moon, full moon principles right now in a big way, and especially with big-hearted, generous, very showy Leo. We want to tell it like it is. We want to fight for our principles. And because the moon is connected with the public eye and the collective, yes, indeed, be careful of some public scuffles, especially around Tuesday or Wednesday this week, and especially between this full moon and the next New moon, yes. So be cautious of what you say because, especially with Leo and Aquarius, we may just speak out of turn unexpectedly or react in a way that may even catch us off guard. And this we will have to be cautious of is really not being overly opinionated. It's good to have ideals. It's good to have your individual self expression, especially with Leo here, and really want to show off your talent and your ideals, but we don't want to get carried away with it and say the wrong thing, especially where this Jupiter in Taurus is concerned and Uranus in Taurus as well. So let's look ahead to the next day. Yes, we are officially on Wednesday now, and the moon is in the later degrees of Aquarius. Yes, so still there's this need for individuality, our self expression, and of course, now that the moon is making a direct square off with unexpected, unpredictable Uranus, well, on Wednesday, yes, we have to expect, kind of like on Tuesday, the unexpected with massive earth changes. Yes, the unexpected volcanoes, earthquakes, earth changes, you name it. And we have yet Venus in Leo retrograde. So, Venus retrograde, as all retrograde planets, is always about going back to the past, making corrections about our affection, or closing the book, sometimes with the retrograde planets and especially Venus, because it is connected with our affection, we have to make corrections. And then once Venus goes for direct motion, we can finally close the book on any issues in the area of love and relationships. And of course, that's relationships of all kinds. And with Venus retrograde, Venus kind of likes the weird and the wonderful in style, and especially with the square off this week with Uranus, especially the first few days of the week. Yes, so it's really the time if you have an unusual style, to some degree, some unusual creativity and opinions, this is the week to express it in a positive way. But you don't want to be too showy or pushy because that is where there could be issues. So let's look ahead to the next day, and the next day is Thursday, and that is August 3rd, and now the moon is with Saturn. Yes, restrictive Saturn. So the moon, kind of like Saturn in Pisces, is rather emotional. Sometimes, rarely, but on occasion, uh, the moon in Pisces can bring drama. So, with Pisces there and the connection with the 12th house, and especially here with the moon connected and conjunct retrograde Saturn, yes, there could be an issue with something that is, well, somewhat sad or troublesome on Thursday. There may be something that really moves us, something from the past. Ah, there's that word again. We will have to really have the need on Thursday to really feel and be very expressive about our sensitivities. So look out on Thursday. There could be something there that really requires a great deal of sensitivity and going back to the past, closing the book on something, on Thursday, or just some issue that we have to be very kind hearted and thoughtful and considerate about, especially with that Saturn retrograde now. That could also be in the area of health and wellness. It could be another area that is very emotional, that is arousing our emotions on Thursday. What is it that gets our feelings and our thoughts and emotions really going on Thursday? So look out for that. And because Saturn is retrograde with the moon, that kind of makes us feel a little bit dour or down and depressed. So this is the day, especially the positive traits of Pisces. You want to be meditative, you want to be sensitive. Do something on Thursday for yourself. But by all means, with this connection with Saturn on the moon, at, if at anything, try to develop a positive outlook that day. And we also have the moon in opposition here with Mercury. Yes, the thinker, the communicator. And so that could create kind of fuzzy thinking on Thursday about details, because Virgo is always with the program, with details, research, analyzation, you name it, digging for the truth in the details. And with the moon with Saturn on Thursday, there may be some fussiness or frustration with those details. And with Mars added to that opposition now, we are feeling like we want to move forward. We want to get things done because Virgo is particular, perfectionistic, hardworking. And with this connection with the moon and Saturn, we may have a feeling of listlessness and maybe a touch of laziness. And Virgo just wants to work. So we have to find that balance between our fuzzy thinking and getting work done. So that may cause some that may cause some conflicts now with this opposition between the Pisces moon and Saturn and Mercury Mars here. So the trick is to work hard, think positive, and this too shall pass. Just attend to the research and the organization. And we've got the sun in Leo, very heartfelt Leo, yes, and that is squaring off expansive Jupiter, yes, very expansive Jupiter. So with this square off between warm-hearted, creative, loving, almost childish, but fun-loving, in a fun-loving style, Leo, and the square off with Jupiter. Keep in mind, Jupiter is always exaggerating here. And with this square off, well, the exaggeration in this case may be, yes, what we have to say, and what we have to say, we want attention because of Leo and the expansiveness of Jupiter. But what else is Jupiter? Jupiter is about prosperity. It's the second house. It's about our money. So there's a possibility that we may get some good financial, monetary news on Thursday. But the trick here is we don't want to spend, or we may have found that we spent too much money, and in a pinch, we're going to have to recoup some of those losses. So this is something else to look out for on Thursday. Don't spend too much if you can help it. And especially to add to that, you've got retrograde Venus, which loves the good things of life and the material, and that squares off Uranus. So with these two aspects, with the sun and Jupiter squaring each other, and Uranus and Venus, well, that's all about spending a little bit of money. But hey, If you got it that day and you got good money news or good job news, perhaps there's a cause for a celebration. Yes, indeed. And let's look forward to the next day, and that is officially the weekend on Friday. Yes, and the moon is now conjoining Neptune. Oh boy, retrograde Neptune. So on Friday, we're going to have to look out for some of those issues again with water, oceans, moisture, storms, you name it, issues with sea life, oil, minerals, and the like. And what else is nebulous Neptune? Yes, it is about the unknown, it is about secrets. So, with issues on one hand with the atmosphere or water or the lack of water, we are also trying to dig and find out the truth about some kind of matter. Yes, especially late the prior day on Thursday, because that made the opposition with Mars, the planet of action. So we may feel a little bit annoyed or a little bit frustrated because we know there's that issue again, that there's some kind of information or truth, facts that we need to get to the bottom of, especially where Mars and Mercury in Virgo are concerned. We will pick apart those details and pick apart until we find the answers. But with the moon, with Neptune, what is going to remain now is that which is hidden. But at a later date, once the moon moves past Neptune within days, we may find some information or uncover some information, especially from the past, Neptune retrograde, that is very important and pertinent right at that particular time. So get ready as we head into later this week and especially then next week, because some information is going to be revealed for sure. Yes, and what's nice now is that the moon and Neptune conjoining each other are making a sweet sextile, earth and water, with unique, unexpected Uranus. But with the connection with water, Pisces, moon, Neptune retrograde, and Uranus in Taurus, that's very grounding. So yes, on one hand, kind of like the day before on Friday, there could be information that kind of draws out our sympathy or a need to express our charity to each other, kindness, heartfelt compassion. And that will even remain more heightened on Friday. Our need to be compassionate about an issue that is going to move us, whether it's personally or otherwise, an issue within humanity. Yes, especially with that conjunction with the moon and Neptune, our sympathies are going to be needed now. But with Uranus in Taurus, that gives us a little common sense, a little grounding, if you will. Kind of, we see the situation at hand, but with Uranus and Taurus and even Jupiter there, we will feel very sensible about what action that we need to take towards our heartfelt sympathies. Gives us a little bit of grounding than to get caught up in drama or over emotionalism, if you will. So that's a very positive indication for Friday. Yes, and let's move ahead to the next day. And also, one last thing for Friday is we've got a beautiful, blessed trine with Jupiter, happy, prosperous, expansive Jupiter and Mars. So on Friday, we're going to express ourselves very intelligently, Virgo. And because it is Earth, this is a very good time for money news. It could be that we get some good news regarding investments or even something that is connected with health and wellness and the mundane, the workforce, corporations, perhaps, yes, even banking with this connection, this wonderful trine between Jupiter in Taurus and Mars in Virgo. So look out for that on Friday. Some good money news, but expressing ourselves in a very positive, intelligent style and really focused on our goals and the ability to attract money. Yes. And let's look ahead again to the next day, which is Saturday. Yes, Saturday, August 5th. And the moon now is in zesty Aries and past Neptune. So now on the weekend, we are feeling rather on the go. We want to go, we want to get things done. And with the moon in Aries, we are feeling rather positive. So whatever was kind of a little bit emotional over the last few days, well, come Saturday, we want to take action. However, its depositor is Mars, so we're going to have a hard-working weekend filled with much in the way of analyzation and detail come Saturday, working late at the office on the weekend. Yes, and with that moon in Aries, that provides the fire with the sun in Leo. Yes, so that gives us even more of a sense of positivity on Saturday in all matters. And it's a really good day too with that trine between the moon and the sun in Leo to really express our warmth and affection. So that's a very positive thought, and as well as what? Our creativity, that word again, and a lot connected and highlighted on Saturday with gambling, speculation, fifth house matters, children, and dating. This is going to be very positive for Saturday, kind of a weekend where we can just kind of loosen up a little bit on Saturday and have some fun and feel good about ourselves and our self-confidence as well. Now let's look ahead to the final day, which is Sunday. Yes, Sunday indeed, and the sun in Leo, and now it is in almost exact square off with Jupiter. So there's that need, as aforementioned, to kind of spend a little bit too much, if you will. So we're going to have to pull back on Sunday or watch our spending, maybe save for a rainy day. And with the sun in Leo, and the sun always represents our confidence, our self-esteem. And with the square off to Jupiter, it's a kind of a double-edged sword. We're either feeling very confident about ourselves, and especially with that moon in Aries and with Chiron, the healer now, we feel very confident and very positive. Or that connection with Jupiter can kind of make us feel, well, not so confident about ourselves. But Jupiter, because it is such a happy-go-lucky planet, it's about risk-taking. So for the last few days, especially of this week and on Sunday, do be cautious of taking, or I should say, not taking any unnecessary risks because we are feeling rather positive and lucky with that Moon Chiron now conjunction. We may not be very mindful of the details, and especially with Mars and Virgo and Saturn retrograde in Pisces and Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So, although we're feeling good on Sunday, we will have to, and for pretty much all week, be very leery and very mindful of what's in front of us and not feel so overly positive that we could be a bit accident prone. Yes, so we're going to have to be very mindful of our environment and very mindful of details. Take a hint from Virgo there. So, if we can do that, then Sunday will go very well with a lot of hard work and a lot of energy for the day, and a very positive time indeed it will be. And especially since we've got the moon making a trine to Venus, the planet of love, even retrograde on Sunday as well. So that's extremely added positivity to all love relationships in particular. So mark Sunday on your calendar. That's kind of a feel good day, but especially if we're very precautious and we watch out for the unexpected. Well, that's a good day to end this week. And until the next weekly celestial forecast, many blessings.